And here we go. We're now at the start of year number 1 with your Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and year number 11 of the entire series. As we take a look at the career history so far, of course, 4 years in Rimouski, a brief stint, 1 year technically in Fort Wayne. We don't count this year. That we don't talk about that. 2 years in Atlantic City, and then 3 years with the ZSC Lions. So this is, in fact, year number 11. We are currently on October 4th, which is the start of the regular season, and this is our roster to start things out. We do have Zach Benson still on the roster, so that's definitely odd. I certainly expected him to be on the NHL roster to start out, but I cannot imagine that he'll be here too long, because in my opinion, he is an NHL caliber player. I mean, he was a regular on Calgary's roster for the past, 7 seasons. He's capable of getting 20-goal seasons, almost 60-point seasons, so I'm not sure why he's not with the Pittsburgh Penguins, but hey, I'll take it. If they're willing to keep him down here, then yeah, who am I to argue? In goal, you have Moorhead and Gravel, both signed to Pittsburgh. 4.5-star ability, 4-star ability, so a couple of good goaltenders back there. On defense, no one who really stands out, but no one who's really too weak either, besides a 19-year-old in Stell. But even him, he has a 4-star potential, so he might get there eventually. And at forward, no one who stands out in a bad way, and just a lot of depth overall, it looks like. So this should be an interesting first season here with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And let's get at least 1 month underway and see how we do. I think just given Wilkes-Barre's history, given the fact that they haven't made the playoffs in the past, 5 seasons, I'm not expecting this to be an easy season, but I'm kind of hoping that we'll at least be able to make the playoffs. So I think those are my expectations for this team this season, just make the playoffs and see where we go from there. All right, after 1 month, we're currently 7-6-2, so I'll take it to start out. We're actually third in the division with a points percentage of .533. A look at the team stats, goals for per game, we're currently sitting at a 3, and a goals against per game, we are currently sitting 16th in the league at a 2.87. Power play is 21st in the league at a 16.3. Penalty kill is currently 30th with a 75.5. So special teams need to be better. Overall, we're just not bad, but not good either. So definitely some room for improvement. Point-wise, you have Zach Benson leading the way, of course, with 16 points in 15 games played. Then you have Nikolai Zevakin with 14 points in 15 games played. And those guys lead our forwards. On defense, you have Tanner Silas with 9 points in 15 games played. And in goal, you have Gravel with 9.23 in 7 games played. And Moorhead with a 9.19 in 8 games played. So both of our goaltenders seem to be doing all right so far. Defensively, at least as far as defensemen go, we seem to be doing all right. What about forwards? I mean, I don't know if the grades have been readjusted between FHM 8 and FHM 7. And taking a look at other teams here, it certainly seems like they may have been slightly readjusted, because I'm seeing a bunch of forwards with defensive grades in the high 80s. So that is certainly unusual. Yeah, I'm thinking possibly grades might have been readjusted. So I know I technically can edit the lines right now as the head coach, but I currently have it set so that the assistant coach takes care of the lineups and tactics. So whatever changes I do right now would just be overridden. I could, of course, set it back into my control, but I feel like I should leave it up to our assistant coach, considering his coaching ratings are much better than mine. And if who has control over setting the lines and tactics has anything to do with player development, I would rather he take care of that, because he has a much more likely chance of helping these young guys develop, as opposed to my own coaching ratings, which are, as we have seen, not very good. And besides, it's only been 1 month. This could have just been a bit of a rough start. You never know how the team will perform after another month. So let's advance up to December 1st and see how we do. All right, so we're just a little bit into November right now. I saw a very interesting player who is currently leading the league in scoring. The defenseman for the Providence Bruins, Ku Zingzao. I am definitely sure that I butchered that. And he is, impressive. Let me tell you, look at his stats. This year with the Providence Bruins, 23 points in 15 games as a defenseman. And look at some of these point totals. 116 points in his first season in the AHL. Are you kidding me? 51 goals. And what's perhaps even more impressive, his ratings. What kind of ratings are these? What kind of ratings are these? 20s all across the board in the offensive category. almost zero defense, like literally almost zero defense for every defensive category. Physical, almost all 20s. Mental, you got 20s in bravery, and team player, you have a 21 in leadership, which I didn't even know was possible to go above a 20. And get this, despite all of his success in the AHL, he's still contracted to Providence. He's not even contracted to Boston. I just want to see how much it would cost to trade for this guy, because I know it's entirely unrealistic that Providence would ever give him up, but I just want to see like what it would take to actually make this trade go through for Ku Zingzu or what. I'm totally butchering that, I guarantee you. But let's just say Adam Pauls, who hasn't played at all this season. This is a well-balanced offer, apparently. Okay, what if I put Vance on here? They will probably accept this offer. That's completely cheesing it. I'm not going to make that trade go through. But wow, like, he's impressive. He is certainly unlike anything I have ever seen before in this game. He's definitely a generated player. That much is for certain. His first season was the 2024-25 season when he was 14. So definitely generated. Like I said, I don't think I've ever seen a player like this. He is certainly something. I mean, the guy's absolutely clueless defensively, but his offensive ability is just like off the charts. I mean, he might even be up to the par of the legend, Mr. Dorian Safetel, who is currently 39, playing on the Calgary Flames right now. We don't have anything on him rating-wise, but we can assume that he's still got most of his 20s. Let's see his stats. Oh, geez. Look at this guy's career. 1,084 points in 809 games. Oh, and I totally forgot he played for the ZSC Lions when he was 2. Wow, that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. So, not only did he play for the former Rimouski Oceanic team, but he also played for ZSC when he was only 2 years old. So that is absolutely incredible. I can't take this seriously. And while we're at it, we may as well check on our guy, Thomas Boudreau. He's with the Washington Capitals now, who he appears to have signed with for a very large sum of money. $9 million, almost $9.4 million for the next 3 years. His production, quite frankly, I mean, I like the guy, but that is quite the overpay there, Washington, for Thomas Boudreau. So he doesn't appear to have developed into the superstar that he was in Rimouski. Still a good player nonetheless, but, you know, I'm not going to say they just worth that much. Anyway, back to Wilkes-Barre Scranton matters. I got completely sidetracked by Ku Zingzao that I have not advanced at all in the simulation since then. So let's just get on with the rest of November and see where we're at on December 1st. All right, so we're on December 1st now. We are currently 16, 10, and 2. Points percentage of 607. We're certainly doing better than before. Goals per game, we're sitting 10th in the league now with a 3.18. And goals against per game, we're currently sitting 15th in the league with a 2.86. Power play is currently 9th in the league with a 20%, so I'm glad I left the assistant coach up to that. But as far as penalty kill, we are suffering. We are down there last in the league with a 76.1. So definitely need to work on the penalty kill in particular. And now Zevakin leads our team in points with 26, so I'm assuming that means that Mr. Benson was called up to Pittsburgh. I wasn't expecting him to stay the whole season. Honestly, I'm amazed as to how long he stayed. He was here basically until the start of December, so a lot longer than I thought he would be here. And who knows, maybe he's just filling in for an injury in Pittsburgh. Like, maybe he'll be back here sooner than we know. While I'm not expecting that to be the case, that is a possibility, so he would certainly be nice to have. Overall, though, I really like how we're simulating, so let's go to January now. Oh, wait, never mind. Benson wasn't even called up to Pittsburgh. He was just placed on the injured reserve list. I'm presuming by Pittsburgh themselves, because I did not do that. So I suppose they can control our injured reserve list, so that's good to know. Okay, so I got curious because of Ku Zingzao. I started looking at players from Taiwan, and there's not too many of them, you know, as far as good players go. However, you have this guy, Zhao Ao, who's 23 years of age, defensive defenseman apparently. Don't have any ratings on him. However, if we take a look at his offensive defenseman ratings, all 20s across the board. I have a feeling this guy is the same as Ku Zingzao. He was with San Diego a couple of years ago, it looks like, or even last season, he had 37 points in 34 games as a defenseman. And his grades are consistently good. And he's not signed anybody besides the US Senior League, so why not? Okay, that's why not. He's not interested in talking to teams in the United States right now. Well, thought I'd try. That's a bit unfortunate, but the way it goes sometimes, I guess. I don't know what it is about Taiwan in particular, but there must be something going on with Taiwan over there that is just creating absolute god tier players. Because this guy, Liu Hengyong, 86th grade this year so far, getting an absurd amount of points. He's a left winger. And his ratings 20s across the board, basically, besides Goon and Enforcer. Now, I'm not sure if this is relative to his current league or relative to the AHL. I can't sign him currently because he's currently under contract to a U20 league, and the AHL honors U20 contracts. But, man, we got to keep an eye on these players from Taiwan because they certainly seem like they're on the rise. Oh, and then the main reason I stopped the simulation was because we're 18, 17, and 2 now. We have been on quite the slide over the past couple of weeks. There's a loss right there against Charlotte. We won against Binghamton, but then a loss, a win, a loss, a loss. So I decided to stop it there. I know I want to make a change. I'm just not quite sure what it is yet. So I think I'm going to end this off here. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we continue and hopefully finish year number 1 with your Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins.